Hey cats, what's happening? You might assume that I'm still camping in the RV. Nope. We're home again. Everything's all put away, ready for the next trip. We had quite a good time. If you watched our last video, the weather was a little undesirable, but we still had a great time. And we actually got stormed out pretty good there. But while we were there, we met up with some old friends, and they're bikers too. And it was an interesting conversation that came up, because my buddy Sean says, "Hey Itchy, you were right." I'm like, "What?" He's like, you told me a long time ago about, having a toy hauler. And they purchased a big toy hauler. One that they could load their Harley right up in the back of. I mean, similar to our travel trailer. But theirs, if you're familiar with toy haulers, the rear end of the trailer folds down like a ramp, and you can drive your toys right inside the thing, strap them down, and go. Now, so they bought a toy hauler, and they were going on camping trips, and they were loading up their Harley onto the toy hauler, and then they would get to the campground, and they would unload their Harley, and their Harley would sit there next to their RV trailer while they enjoyed camp life. And they began to find that the two didn't really mix, And I've always said that all along. You're either going to go camping or you're going to go riding on a motorcycle. Now, the only time that might make sense is if you're going to a rally, like you go to Sturgis rally, you're going to spend a week there, or some other rally that you're going to spend 3 or 4 days at. A toy hauler would be nice. You could bring your bike and bring your travel trailer, set it up when you get there, and have a place to stay, and then you can unload your bike and ride it all over Sturgis or whatever. But for normal practical purposes, camping is one thing, riding the bike is another. So he said, "I think we're going to go ahead and sell the toy hauler, Itchy, and we're just going to get a camper trailer, because just like you said, we've learned that the two don't really mix. If we want to ride the bike, we'll go on a bike ride, But if we're going to go camping, we're going to go camping and enjoy it." Well, anyway, that's what we did last week. We went camping, and we enjoyed every minute of it, even though we got stormed out. But while we were down there camping, we thought, let's visit the local Harley dealer and just talk to them about the Ultras and see what they have there. Now, I'm not planning on getting rid of the old fat boy here. In fact, I'm very fond of it. What I was thinking of doing with this, there's a Memphis Shades fairing kit that it would get rid of this windshield, and then it's like a black plastic fairing that comes down over the headlight and comes up about yay high, and then you can get different size of windshields for it or tints for it, and it looked like somewhere around maybe $500-600 range for the fairing. So I was considering that, but it still won't give me the all the comforts of having an Ultra. Well, V and I have talked about it for years, about how nice it would be to have a big touring bike, a big Ultra. But I've often said, for the price that I had to pay for it, I mean, it would sit in the garage next to this bike, and I don't know. I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. So anyway, we went to the dealer and told the guy, I said, "Well, what do you got in pre-owned Ultras?" Well, he took us right over there and showed us. He had a couple of them there. And the one particular Ultra had all the bells and whistles on it. You know, it had the big navigation screen here where you could, you know, choose your route and everything. It had a stereo system with the two speakers in the back captain's chair where V would sit. It had cruise control, and then it probably had 10 times more buttons and levers on the grips to control all of that navigation and the stereo and all of that business. Then it had, you know, the big luggage thing on the back and everything that an Ultra comes with. And he kind of went through and explained how everything worked on it and everything. Now, one of the things I noticed right away that it didn't come with the rocker shift lever. See, this one's got a heel-toe shifter, which I've used since 1999, and it just comes without thinking. I shift up with my heel by kicking down with my heel. I shift down by pushing down with my foot on the front kicker. So always been a habit of mine, so I'm used to that rocker shift thing there. Now all they come with is just the front piece, so you have to toe up or kick down. That can be remedied, but anyway, it's just something that I noticed. But I asked the guy, I says, okay, now I've heard some rumors. In fact, I've heard more than rumors. I've heard tales of people that have bought these late model Ultras and they end up right back in the shop with computer problems or electrical problems. Tell me about that. Well, he looked kind of puzzled at first, and he said, I don't know, nothing I heard of. Then he says, well, the early 2018s had some glitches, but they worked those bugs out, and the later models, they were pretty good. I'm like, all right. So there you gave me a little tip of the iceberg, but you really didn't tell me any details. So I go over to this Ultra that we're looking at, and I flip over the card. It's a 2018. I says, 2018, a later one or an earlier one? I heard crickets. He don't know. So yeah, I'm not going to buy a pre-owned Ultra that he just confessed that the 2018s had some issues and he don't know whether this is one of them or not. Okay, thank you. And then the price tag on them. I'm like, good grief, you know. When you go out and you buy a brand new Harley, right off the bat they tell you, now as soon as you roll it out of the showroom, the price is, goes down. You lose if you're going to resell it. They don't appreciate it all. They depreciate very quickly. So, I'm looking at this price tag and I'm thinking, boy, where's the depreciation on this? Because this is almost as much as a brand new Ultra. They wanted like $26,000 for this used Ultra, a 2018. I was like, holy cow, that's a lot of money to buy something that may give you some problems down the road. A pre-owned Harley at that. So right away then, I was pretty convinced that I'm not buying anything here. I'm done talking to this guy. Thanks, but we'll just go look at some t-shirts. We didn't buy any t-shirts either. But anyway, am I ready to pull the plug and get an Ultra? No, but still we consider to think about it. I know it would be comfortable. I know it would be a nice cruiser. But I have to take into account, the financing and the costs involved, and not quite sure if V and I are ready to take on that kind of a payment when we're already paying for a nice truck and a travel trailer and everything else we got bills coming in for. We got a motorcycle right now. We can ride it, and we love to ride it. I wanted to ride today. I told V, I said, let's ride today. Well, the weather's kind of iffy, and it's stifling hot. It's you know, in the 80s, and you know these air-cooled Harleys don't do good in hot weather. I mean, it'll run, it'll go, but with this one, if I get in traffic where I have to slow down, you know, in town or something, it'll start loading up on me, and then it'll want to start backfiring and popping and sputtering. It likes to go, in this hot weather, it likes to run hard and fast where the air can keep blowing through that motor and keeping the temperature down on it. So anyway, she wasn't too keen on riding today. She said, you know, the weather's kind of shaky and it's so hot, and I think we better skip that. So we're going to go on a date later on instead and go out and get some Mexican to eat for dinner. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. I appreciate the visit in the great man cave here. And before I go, I wanted to give a little shout out here. I got a letter in the mail from Doc Myers, and he sent me some stuff. Sent me a nice little letter, and he sent me some decals. Support your local statesman MC in St. Louis, Missouri. I got a little one. Sent me his card, and then a couple coins. I got a nice little Christian coin here. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. And that's John 3:16. I got that one memorized. That you learned that one in Sunday school when I was a kid. Yeah, so that's really neat. And then I got one of these Widman Harley Davidson in St. Louis, Missouri. A little coin thing. So thanks, Doc. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, buddy. And I thank you very much for thinking about us and sending us those cool things. Well, next time, stay tuned. We'll have some more stories coming up. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And please go ahead and subscribe. Right now, before you do anything else, just hit the subscribe button. Yeah, it's easy. And then you'll be back, and we'll see you again for more. Till next time, cats, ride hard, die free.